Welcome back to another video, fellow treble winners. The show goes on. He's not leaving. Kyle Walker is staying at Manchester City and has just signed a contract until 2026, which is a lovely, wonderful bit of news to end this international break. The show must go on. And Kyle Walker is here. It's a very interesting bit of news, this actually. It's interesting for many reasons, not just because we've got the best Premier League right back in history, probably, to stay for a bit longer. It's because what it means away from that. There is a sort of change of precedent here, but on the surface of this is wonderful news. I think it's fair to say that Kyle has been absolutely excellent. He's been excellent this season. If anything, I would say Kyle Walker's game's gone up a little bit. I feel like he's been a bit reinvigorated by this new sort of further role, but what I do know is that we've just signed out a massively influential, still fantastic player, and a man who's currently reveling in this new role he's been given as captain. We've tied him down until 2026. Does that mean he will stay until 2026? No, of course he doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is that right now we've got him nice and secure. We've got a massive part of this squad and a man who could be here now until he's 35, 36 years old. Of course, that's old. But Kyle Walker is showing no signs of slowing down, both figuratively and literally. That man is still absolutely electric. And this news is wonderful. City did announce this in the most brilliant of fashion, by the way. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but like they did this wonderful video. Like, it's brilliant where they did like a parody. Can you hear that? Hang on. It's great.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving! The show goes on!
Amazing content. Absolutely amazing content.
This is my home!
So they did that, which of course is a parody of the Wolf of Wall Street. Just wonderful stuff, absolutely lovely stuff. Fantastic. He has signed until 2026. It is brilliant news. I will jump over, of course, to the article on ManCity.com. It says Kyle Walker has signed a new Manchester City contract, keeping him at the club until the summer of 2026. The England international has joined City in the summer of 2017, has been a key defender in our success over the last 6 years. Walker has made 260 appearances on his way to winning 5 Premier League titles. What a number. 2 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 2 Community Shields, the Champions League and the Super Cup. The 33-year-old right-back's current contract was due to expire in the season, but has now put pen to paper on a 2-year extension. Walker said, I'm thrilled to sign a new deal. My future is with Man City, and that is the best thing for me. I've enjoyed every single moment of the past 6 years at this fantastic club. I have an amazing coach, great teammates and staff, and our fans are the best. I feel supported on every single level. The treble winning season is one that I'll never forget, and we're ready to go again and try and win more trophies. I'm delighted to continue a club that competes for trophies every year, and I can't wait to see what the next few years bring. Director Tiki said, we are very happy that Kyle will be here until 2026. He's an outstanding footballer, and his speed, strength and experience make him such an important member of our squad. For me, he's the best right back in the world, a player with a unique set of attributes. He brings a very special dynamic to our team. Kyle has been a huge part of our recent success, and we are confident that he'll help us compete for trophies in the upcoming seasons. PFA Team of the Year in 2018, of course, after getting 100 points. He was chosen for Champions League Team of the Season as well, which is incredible. He was great, of course, in the Real Madrid semi-finals, particularly knocking down Vinicius Junior and Mbappe against PSG before. 78 caps for England. He will get to 100 almost certainly. Obviously a European Championship finalist for England, team of the tournament as well. Look, he's a phenomenal player. 6 years, 15 trophies. It's been wonderful watching Kyle Walker develop in Manchester City Football Club. And there's no doubt whatsoever right now that, this is a fantastic bit of news. We do need it. There's an interview that obviously you can go and watch where he said it's an honour to wear the captain's armband. I won't watch that on here, but go and watch that yourself, And I do like in general that he's been very bullish about wanting to achieve something again, achieve something special. Loads of articles you can go and watch online. Michael Richards said he's the greatest ever English right back. He probably is. I actually probably agree with that. When you look through his gallery of his career so far, loads of wonderful content. When he signed back in 2017 there, the first of many, his first title there with John Stones, of course. He scored, of course, in the 9-0 win against Burton Albion there. I think that was his first goal. It wasn't his first goal, but either way, a lot of love there. Scored against Brighton as well, which I remember that. No, he didn't score against Brighton, just celebrating. He didn't score there. That was the Mahrez Laporte. Gundogan, Mahrez, Laporte and Aguero, I think it wasn't it. Walker and Stones there after the 6-0 win against Watford in the final, which is ridiculous looking back. Of course, so many great moments, so many great memories, but that is what Kyle Walker does. That is what Kyle Walker does, wonderful things. And I think we can play down what this means, but ultimately, Kyle Walker is still an excellent footballer. I know there's a temptation to say, but he's just all pace. But look, he's not just all pace. His footballer ability is better than what we give it out to be. And he's obviously what he brings to the team in terms of defensive stability. And he's just his general leadership these days. He's highly respected. He's an absolute born winner. Like, Kyle Walker is a warrior. Like, he will throw his body on the line. And for me, I think, I agree with Cameron. I think he's been getting better. I think this season he's been excellent. Like, I think he's been absolutely on fire. Like, I think he has been. I think, of course, he made the mistake in one of the games against Sheffield United. That could happen. But in general, I thought his response to that was remarkable. Like, people are allowed to make mistakes in football. Mistakes happen. But what you're not allowed to do is dwell on it. And you're not allowed to get your head down. You have to crack on and turn things around. And that's what Kyle Walker did. Like, he was he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant in response to that moment against Sheffield United. And that you can tell that he's the kind of person who will thrive with a captain's armband. Some people absolutely get better. They get better when they get that captain's armband. And it seems to me that Kyle Walker is one of them. And right now we can't underestimate the fact that there was a potential for him to leave. There was. But that he has stayed. That Guardiola and him talked together. And he's playing wonderful football right now. Like, I think this kind of sort of hybrid right-wing role that he's got when he's really far off the pitch with finger cutting in, I can see it. I can see him reveling in it. And Daniel saying he won't stay until he's 36. I think we're in an era now where we presume, right, that players are so fit these days. They are absolute athletes, and like I'm going to just Google something here. I'm going to Google something here. Just bear me out where I Google something. But I'm pretty certain, like, sprinters, for example, are retiring later as well. Like, what age did Usain Bolt, Usain Bolt retired at 34. And he was still doing absolutely wonderful. You know what I mean? And that was like, he's a sprinter. Like, that's like I know he's not Usain Bolt, but the point I'm making, like, this guy is a sprinter. And he was still going at 34, being excellent. That's when he retired. The idea that Kyle Walker could play football until 36 in Man City, it doesn't seem crazy for me. He's going to lose a bit of pace, but I don't think he's just going to suddenly get slow. I think he's just going to... people have been saying it for ages. Eventually he will be, but I wouldn't be surprised if this guy still looks like an absolute beast at 36, 37. Like, I can tell you personally, I'm not an athlete, but I didn't feel much different at 36 to I did 34, 33. I think I feel different at 38 than I did 34, but 36, I felt top of the world. I know I'm not an athlete, but I don't think there's that much difference. I really don't. I think naturally, Kyle Walker's just a physical freak, and I think he'll be fine. Like, and either way, look, if he does go before then, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's it. Like, as Eskimos have said, if he's bad the final year, you still get this year and next. It doesn't matter. Him around the squad with his importance and his leadership at that point, it'll be useful. Like, Kyle Walker is clearly influencing Rico Lewis's career and teaching those around him. And if he wants to go somewhere for the last year of his contract, we just let him go on a free. That's how I feel about it. We let him go at that point. But it doesn't matter. The point is that he stayed. And I think it's the right call in a summer where we've lost Gundogan and Riyad Mahrez. It would have been one step too far. And I think the start of the season has proven that we actually do need him still. I know it's not a bit, like an exciting bit of news to keep Kyle Walker, but I think it is. And I think the interesting for me is the sort of City sort of conceding like this 1 year contract for certain players above a certain age. That's dead in the water. This is a change of stance. The reports were that Gundogan apparently felt a little bit dismissed of when he was offered a 1 year contract after, but just before he scored those 2 goals against Aston Villa. And apparently that always sort of kind of bothered him a little bit. And it was why eventually when he got offered a 2 year contract to Man City, it was a bit too late and he already agreed to Barcelona. And I think City have learned the lessons a little bit, that you can't just treat everyone the same. Like, some players are more important. Like, you can't have this arbitrary rule because it's not one. I respect it, but at the same time, it's just not going to fit every single player. Like, if you want to have every player happy, you're going to have to sort of cede to the player every now and then. Like, you have to look at it on a case-by-case basis. You can turn around and say, usually we don't go more than a 1 year contract above a certain age, but if you just won a treble and you've got the best right back in the world football, in my personal opinion, he still is that. He's definitely the best defensive right back. You can't go, we're only giving you a 1 year contract if Bayern want him. He's going to go, well, I'll go to Bayern then. What, really? I'll go to Bayern. If you want him, you're going to have to go, well, what are Bayern giving you? Bayern giving me 3 years. Well, we'll give you that too. You have to do that. That's just the lay of the land, man. That's how it is. So at the same time, it's going backwards on our policy, but I respect that they have the maturity and the hindsight at least to actually change that, you know? I actually think what happened, Xavi in the comments there, I guess it's not the actual Barca manager, because if you would, you'd know the answer by now. But what happened with Gundogan apparently is that in the season before last, when he was actually on the bench against Aston Villa, apparently we offered him a 1-year deal. And he was a little bit like, I'm not really sure about a 1-year deal. Because apparently he was a bit like put out about being on the bench towards the end of that season. And that like sort of stuck with him. That eventually, I think City did eventually go to 2 years. But pride, like, once you've been burned a little bit sometimes, like, I feel like his pride took a hit. And I think he messed about. And I think City realised he made a mistake. But the time they came round to offer him a 2-year deal, I think he'd already decided to leave. And I mean, there's an element of wanting to go Barca anyway. But I feel like if he'd offered him a 2-year deal back then, he would have signed it and we wouldn't have been having this conversation. But I think we got it wrong. I think we just got it wrong, Xavi. I think that was it. And I think we've realised that you just can't do that. I think sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think we've learned from that. And like, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes as long as you learn for it. Like Kyle Walker made a mistake against Sheffield United. He learned from it, and he got us the goal almost with his commitment. City made a mistake with Gundogan. We learned from it, and we got Kyle Walker tied down, which is very good news because we're going to need it. We're going to need him back, you know. We're absolutely going to need him this summer, this season, because he's a phenomenal player. He's a cracking player. Guys, it's just a quick video talking about this because I thought it was worth popping on. Kyle Walker staying is great. It's great news. He's still absolutely excellent. Of course, if you want to watch more content, there is my video, my opposition preview. Let me know, of course, down in the comments what you made of this news. I'm not going to stay on too long because it is bedtime for the little one, so I'm going to help the wife put him to sleep. But for now, though, check out that. Let me know in the comments what you make of Kyle Walker staying. I think it's good news. City have learned the lesson. He's the best right back in world football defensively still, in my personal opinion. I think it's great news. Watch this video, and for now, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye, and good night. Kyle Walker, he's staying.